up for Naughty by Nature!
Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today this is probably gonna be a shorter video. It's kind of just to pass along the message from a source that you've probably seen me use a decent amount, and I view as kind of credible, I would say. And this is not good news. It's the idea of the U.S. entering the war with Iran. But first, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. All right, as you can see, like I don't normally do this. Like, this is a rarity for me to like something and retweet it, unless it's someone, spreading my own propaganda, spreading some YellBro propaganda everywhere. Then I'll retweet you. But I don't normally do that. But I think this is an actual and actually antiwar.com doesn't normally do this either, where it's not just about news. They're telling you, yo, call the White House and tell them you do not want any part of this disastrous war. They're letting it be known, yo, we're going in the wrong direction. Not that our phone calls, in my opinion, sorry to be doom and gloom about it, no pun intended. But, yeah, I don't see, if all of us called and said, yo, don't do this, I don't think it changes the U.S. government's stance, position, and future maneuverings. But I would say try it anyways. Why not? Maybe something changes. Here's your article here. Sources: U.S. will enter Israel's war with Iran. Sources familiar with the matter have told antiwar.com editorial director Scott Horton that the Trump administration is poised to enter Israel's aggressive war against Iran directly. U.S. airstrikes on Iran could begin as soon as Monday. So where we're at right now, it's Sunday for me. As soon as tomorrow, the U.S. could officially jump in this war. And that is not good. Please contact the White House by sending an email or calling the comment line starting at 10 a.m. Eastern on Monday. Numbers 202-456-1111. So make sure you have that number ready to go. I guess it's kind of like a protest thing. So 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, call the White House and say, we don't want anything to do with this fucking thing. There you go. Tell them that you do not want the U.S. to enter the disastrous war, which could lead to heavy American casualties at U.S. bases across the Middle East, which is the case because Iran's aware of where they're at. And we're going to see more of where it's looking like Iran might be at in regards to the U.S. jumping in. The U.S. has supported the war by reportedly providing Israel with intelligence and helping intercept Iranian missiles and drones, but so far there have been no direct U.S. attacks on Iran. Iranian officials have warned that Tehran would hit U.S. bases in the region in response to any U.S. strikes. It's forewarned, and that's the way Iran's been playing this whole thing. I saw the fucking tweet, all right, where they're like, yo, all right, everyone saw that. They hit us first. Now you know what's going to happen afterwards. And we're seeing what's happening. Where are we at here? Axios. This is the thing that Anthony showed me before. Pretty sure. Axios reported on Saturday that Israel is urging the U.S. to join the war since Israel lacks the bunker-busting bombs necessary to do serious damage to Iran's Fordo plant, which is buried deep underground. An Israeli official told Axios that President Trump had previously suggested the U.S. could strike Fordow. Fordow, however you say that. Yeah, that's been a thing with the bunker buster bombs. I mean, oh man. Oh man. Okay. Trump himself said on Sunday that it was possible that the U.S. would get directly involved in the war, which Israel launched early Friday morning with airstrikes across Iran. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu started the war under the pretext of preventing Iran from building a nuclear weapon, which is, you should realize, is out of this world. Right? It's batshit crazy type of narrative, as far as I understand. But it was the consensus of the U.S. intelligence community that there was no evidence Iran was working toward a nuclear weapon. If they were being clear as day being pushed after the history of things we've seen so far. Clearly trying to be pushed in that direction, just so it justifies, let's be real, regime changing the country. And Tehran made clear they were ready to make a deal with the U.S. that would significantly lower uranium enrichment levels and increase oversight of its nuclear program in exchange for U.S. sanctions relief. So essentially, the Obama deal. Clear as day, we will guarantee you no nuclear weapon, and you will have oversight over it. If you just take the sanctions off, just agree to that deal. But let's be real, the Trump administration. I know there's a lot of idiots out there that didn't know. I get it. Things happen. But it was already, from the beginning of his journey in politics, has been trying to start a war with Iran. That's been a big deal, a part of it. Plenty of people denied me that. They called me Trump derangement syndrome or Bernie supporting. But it was in plain sight the whole time. And people fucking ignored it. Whatever. It's not even I'm some genius. Other people have been saying this. That's where I'm getting it from. Forget about YellBro. Look at the other people. They're saying it too. With a lot more, analytical analysis, fucking information and evidence and shit. But not good enough. People were very hung up on supporting this orange penguin. Okay. Ali Larijani, an aide to Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has previously said that the one thing that would make Tehran reconsider its prohibition of the development of nuclear weapons would be a U.S. or Israeli strike. So, once again, it's pushing them towards weaponization. And then if they're like, shit, they're going to try and kill us. So let's try to fuck it, we'll make a nuke, fuck it. Now, that's when the U.S. was like, see, look, we have proof. They were trying to make nukes the whole time. See, got them. Just like they did with Russia. Where Russia's like, listen, if you start getting Ukraine into NATO, you start creating these tensions, you start funding these guys with weaponry and money and all that shit. We're going to go and fuck them up. We're going to do it. Then the U.S. does all. Meanwhile, the U.S. is warning, Russia is crazy. They want to take over Europe. They want to take over Ukraine, then push all the way into Europe. Right? That was their narrative. Then they funded and armed Ukraine enough to where, and started threatening NATO, Ukraine joining NATO, that Putin's like, fuck, we got to fight them now. And then the U.S. and Western countries look, they want to take over Ukraine and take over Europe. See? Got them. There's our evidence. There it is right there. And the average person does not know any of those things. Thus, they fall for it. Anyways, it's a clear as day playbook thing. People fall for it. It is what it is. All right. We are not moving towards nuclear weapon. This is a quote from Iranian aide Ali Larijani. We are not moving towards nuclear weapons, but if you do something wrong in the Iranian nuclear issue, you will force Iran to move towards that because it has to defend itself. Larijani said on April 1st. Iran does not want to do this, but it will have no choice, he added. If at some point you, the U.S., move towards bombing by yourself or through Israel, you will force Iran to make a different decision, which is an open threat, I guess a sense of deterrence. But just like I think Iran knows as much as I knew, this guy, it's not about a nuclear deal. It wasn't about communist Obama and his communist deal with Iran. The point is to go to war with Iran. That's the point. Sorry if you didn't catch on to that. Now here we see a guy, once again, this is unsubstantiated. I can't say I know. This is from a random Twitter account. I can't say I know this is legit, but hey, let's look at it anyways. General Mohsen Rezai, we might soon enter a battle against a coalition. Now, what do you think that means? He's basically saying the U.S. is about to jump into this, and we have to go fight them too. And we must be ready. That's why our unknown weapons remain unrevealed. They're saying we have, once again, that's what state propaganda or state narratives is what they do. Like, yeah, we have big, badass weapons that can fuck the U.S. up. Right? Now, let's check this out, which is just, once again, this isn't the most important thing here. It's important, but it's not the most important thing. It's just attached to this whole thing. And it's Ted Cruz on Fox News, where, once again, these guys go on channels like this to sell the wars. Remember Iraq, what Fox News was doing with Iraq? Remember what CNN was doing with Iraq? You remember what MSNBC was doing with Iraq? They sell these things. Do not fall for it. Please. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are past, they're over the mainstream media. A lot of younger people, right? But guess what? These things can happen. If you think like a guy like Ted Cruz or, what's her name? Maria something, this lady? Or whoever, right? Bill O'Reilly on Fox News or Don Lemon on CNN or one of these fucking characters, right? If you can believe that those guys are paid by the State Department or the Pentagon to say fucking bullshit to you, you bet your ass there's Twitter accounts, YouTube accounts, social media accounts, info fucking wars. There's people like that out like that are also doing the same thing. Don't be tricked and just follow. Oh, it's Fox News, so I don't believe them. Let me go listen to this guy over here, and he's going to tell me the truth. Guess what? They could be full of shit too. Just saying, we did the Alex Jones video where he's clear like this guy is a fucking asset or something, bro. The way he's talking like an asset, not a guy that thinks that 9/11 was an inside job. He's not talking like that anymore. Clearly. But anyway, okay. Regardless, let's get to this video. Let's hear out. Once again, this is just going to be one of many. I could have used that Netanyahu video ad. I could use Pete Hegseth talking on the microphone. I can use reports of what's coming from the White House. I can do all these different politicians because when it's wartime, they all sell the fucking narrative. They all turn into fucking car salesmen. Tell you how this beat up car is actually awesome. Anyways, here we go.
President Trump drew a very clear red line in the sand. He said on April 12th, he told Iran, you have 60 days to negotiate. I led a coalition of 52 Republican senators, and we all said we stand with President Trump. President Trump has been clear that...
Now, once again, if you're saying, if I make a negotiation deal with someone, I'm like, hey, man, listen, we're going to need you to bury one of your kids alive. And then we'll have peace with you. Bury one of your kids alive. Then we'll have peace. Like, I'm not fucking doing that. See, look, they won't negotiate with us. See that? They won't negotiate. It's their fault. They won't negotiate. That's a little drastic, but at the same time, that's what they're doing in regards to Iran. They're saying, you guys cannot be self-reliant. You need to be owned and using other people for your shit. For something you could do for yourself. Even if Iran's like, yo, come on in, bring your cameras, your videotapes, whatever the fuck you got, bring it in, bring your notepads, come on in, take pictures of everything, investigate everything, examine all of it. Examine all the facilities. They're saying, come on in and do that. But we're going to enrich on our own. But you'll be able to make sure we don't go anywhere near nuclear level or nuclear bomb levels. And the U.S. is like, nah, we need you to bury your kids alive. Bury them alive. Well, I'm not going to bury my kid alive. Then these guys won't negotiate with us. We've been trying and trying and trying, and they won't take the deal. I've been trying to make deals with them the whole time. They won't fucking do it. It's their fault. That's what the fuck this guy's doing. Anyways, here you go.
Line in the sand. He said on April 12th, he told Iran, you have 60 days to negotiate. I led a coalition of 52 Republican senators, and we all said we stand with President Trump. President Trump has been clear that the standard for any deal must be complete dismantlement. No centrifuges, no enrichments. There is no.
So 52 Republicans out of 200, at least 18, support this?
Come on, open your fucking eyes, dude. Come on. Like, obviously, if you don't think these guys are gun-ho for war, come on. They're not going to be fighting in them.
So I'm saying
they're chilling.
I'm saying they couldn't even get the rest of the Republicans to join on board with this. So not even a majority of the Republicans agree with this.
That you can say that logic, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe he's just saying, like, these happen to be these guys that were working with us on this. Possibly. Listen, I don't want it to. I'm not trying to tell people that this is a guarantee of something to happen. I'm just getting as angry as if it did happen already. And I almost beg that the same happens with you. Not saying you have to do that. You be yourself. You do your thing. But that's how I feel right now. And I think it's justifiable. I'm as angry as if it already happened. Like they already announced and they already shot a fucking missile at Iran. But whatever. Let's keep going.
Led a coalition of 52 Republican senators, and we all said we stand with President Trump. President Trump has been clear that the standard for any deal must be complete dismantlement. No centrifuges, no enrichments. There is no reason a theocratic lunatic who chants death to America should have nuclear weapons, the tools to murder millions of Americans or millions of Israelis.
Right.
I mean, once again, their red line is no enrichment at all. Zero enrichment, which is once again saying, yo, bury your kid alive. You're not going to do it? Then you're failing the deal, not me. It's your fault. And that's what they're selling to us. Brazenly selling that to us. We're stupid.
Explain why that is buried the kid alive.
Well, that's what? Your audio fucked up right there.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Explain why that is buried the kid alive.
Why that's burying? I said that's a drastic example, but it's like they're saying, yo, harm yourselves or harm your life for the sake of this deal. And if you don't take the deal where you harm yourself, we're going to blame you and say we can go to war with you and we can bomb you. It's less like burying your kid alive. It's more like, yo, or actually like, yo, imagine what can happen when you have third-party people bringing in nuclear shit into your country from the outside. And they already explained to the world that they want to overthrow you and subvert your country. You're gonna let them bring in shit like that? Like, come on, fuck out of here, right? That's not smart from any country to fucking do that, right? That's why it's like that's why it's a no-go off rip. It's already a no-go.
I think it's a fair comparison because the first thing you have to do is separate what this guy knows he just did, because he said no enrichment, right? Okay, that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
And then he immediately said after that, like, because they can't have a nuclear weapon. So he intentionally conflated the two concepts.
Yep.
So the first concept with enrichment is, are they allowed to do what other nations can do and use nuclear energy? Basically energy. What
Like
we're
we
fighting
do. Yeah.
all of these wars for is for energy, and whether it's oil or whatever, but it's energy. Like, can they be self-sufficient with their energy? And our line that we're saying for peace is, you have to depend on us. You cannot do this yourself. You're not allowed to have your energy.
Yeah.
Like, that's the red line. That's why it's a fair comparison. It's like, will you sacrifice yourself, your own country, because we are forcing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, just in the name of peace. Like, that's a fair comparison.
Yeah, and to people who are kind of new to this, once again, this is not me being like, I love Iran so much, you can trust them with anything. I'm not saying that. I'm saying historically, we have a precedent where they were enriching uranium on their own, and there were inspectors in there measuring their enrichment levels. And it stayed below 4%, which is within range of, like, for, civilian energy and power grids and all that fucking shit, right? Thus, they stuck to it before. But then guess who came into the presidency and pulled out of the fucking deal? Where you had guaranteed eyes with your own inspectors on their fucking shit. Forget about secret nuclear fucking plants or whatever the fuck. You had people that were able to hands-on look at it. And he pulled out of that deal. Because he said we're giving them too much money. And then what does he do? He comes back and offers a re-deal to Iran saying, hey, listen, we'll offer you the same money, but no enrichment level, which means Iran will not go for it. This is a blatant fucking crime. It's a TV show. Crime. Right in our faces. And they're going to go to you and they're going to say, yo, we tried to negotiate, but these guys don't want to do it. They don't want to deal with us because they're crazy Islamic terrorists, is what they're going to say. I kid you not, guys. We are getting fucking played. Well, sorry, I'm not getting played, but some of us out there are getting fucking played. And you got played during that election and the elections beforehand. Go ahead, pick between Hillary and fucking Trump. You're getting played. Either one, you're getting played. Anyways, here we go.
On the 61st day, the Ayatollah publicly said he would not shut down a single centrifuge. He said he would build more centrifuges. He would make more enriched uranium in order to make more nuclear weapons. That was effectively, Maria, a giant middle.
He did not.
So they have
to make
leak
weapons.
So they have nukes already. Then essentially, is what he's saying, right? He's saying what Alex Jones is saying. Like, oh, they have nukes already. Even though we just heard Tulsi Gabbard in fucking March say they don't have them. But fuck it. We just make sure at this point, this is Fox News circa 2002 and 3-ish. When Operation Bomb the Shit Out of Baghdad was going down. Where they could just lie on TV. Don't worry about it. Like, even if they get caught lying, it doesn't matter. The deed is done. Here we go.
Finger at President Trump, but it was also a message to Israel. We're not going to stop.
I love YouTube too.
And if you don't act, you're going to find out when we've achieved success with a mushroom cloud in the skies of Tel Aviv or New York or Los Angeles.
Senator,
New York.
Do you want to see regime change? Do you think that happens soon? And what would the future look like in that regard?
Wow.
Look, I think it is very much in the interest of America to see regime change. I don't think there's any redeeming the Ayatollah. He is filled with hate.
This is Fox News circa 2002, 2003. Hussein must go. He must go.
Regime is okay. Regime change is good.
Weapons of mass destruction. What? He actually just quoted, didn't he? Didn't George Bush say that? It shows up in the form of a mushroom cloud or something like that, right? Is that from Bush? Or that might have been who fucking said that, bro? Someone said like something will show up in the form of a mushroom cloud if we don't do anything.
It was either Cheney or Powell. One of those two.
Dick Cheney or Colin Powell. Okay. Oh my God, it's the same thing. And I think a lot of people are not going to fall for this, but it won't. Like, it's not up to you though. Even the phone call thing where antiwar.com's like, yo, and Dave DeCanter's saying like, yo, call them and let them know you don't want this. And I love and respect that, but at the same time, I don't think these guys fucking listen. I don't think they care what you think.
No, you could definitely say, Dubson, this for you. We're in the George Bush administration. A third administration now. This is the third George Bush administration. George W. Bush.
I'd say fourth.
Fourth. There you go.
Like, how can you watch like Fox News and think like Antifa is a problem because they're advocating for violence?
From the
At
moment,
the same time, you have this congressperson telling us these guys are whatever, so we have to invoke this type of violence on them. Like, this is the same. This is Fox News, right? Like,
fucking real.
Remember what Trump said, bro. Remember one of Trump's prominent statements. You didn't keep us safe during 9/11. We've come full circle with Trump as president. We've come full circle from that statement till now. Where he ascended to from saying that to where he has fallen to today.
I mean, the writing was on the wall. I mean, there was people I'd listen. I would actually listen to some of these motherfuckers, like Sean Parnell, he's in the Trump administration right now, as like some sort of foreign policy guy. I think I forgot exactly what he's doing there, but he was on Tim Pool years ago saying the Obama strategy is a failure. The Bush strategy is the winning recipe. He was saying the George Bush strategy was the right strategy in regards to dealing with the war on terror. And now that guy is a foreign policy guy in the fucking Trump administration. Granted, we already saw Trump hire a whole bunch of other Bush people in his first fucking term. And this term too, let's be honest. So, once again, it was obvious to me. Based on my experience, it was fucking obvious. But, you know, it is what, like, I understand people, they have hopes for things or whatever the fuck. I get that. Or they bought into a fucking thing from some internet guy, all right? Some sort of narrative from an internet guy. I understand. Things happen. It's happened to me. I think I played videos the other day which were fake, as far as I understand now. Like, they were bullshit. They weren't actually a part of the Iran-Israel fucking war thing. That happens. It's just right now. Hold on, right now. If you're listening to me right now, like at the very least, consider what I'm saying. That you've been bullshitted for many years. This is not Trump being tricked by the deep state. At least consider that idea. That he was a George W. Bush neocon from the fucking jump. And that's what I saw. I understood. But I still saw neocon there. But go ahead, Depser.
I was just going to ask you, have you seen Dave Smith renounce Trump yet?
Nope.
Well, he doesn't have to, as far as his own words, he doesn't have to renounce. He has to apologize to the rest of us for voting for Donald Trump and supporting him. That's his idea.
Cut out a lot. What was that, yes or no?
I'm saying he doesn't have to. All he has to do is apologize. That's what, by his own words, by his own standards, apologize to the rest of us for voting for this guy and supporting him.
Has he apologized yet?
I don't think so. And I assume fans forgot about that already, so he might not have to. But they'll hold him up as like the guy who figured it out before everyone else did. Like, oh look, Dave knew already. He figured it out. Meanwhile, motherfuckers have been screaming for years. My bad. Go ahead, guys. We're talking.
Yeah, so we're like clearly watching the sequel here, right? I guess it's the Penguin sequel or it's the Iraq sequel, whatever.
Yeah.
But we're seeing exactly the same people, the same. It's all playing out. So just based on this rewatching where we are right now, like there's the beginning of war, and and the other pieces that like we know that for U.S. involvement, there's usually some kind of attack on Americans.
Yep.
However that happens.
Is that needed anymore? But yeah, God.
Yeah, it's not needed. But then the other thing that I remember very often would happen. It's like, well, why aren't we winning, or why isn't Iraq war over yet? Like it lasted so long. And what we kept hearing was the exact same thing that we heard when we started. We started with like a shock and awe thing, right?
Yeah.
The idea was, well, in order to finish this faster, this is what they were selling. We're gonna hit them like as hard as we can, just to end this quick, right? And then
Pause.
every time it wasn't ending, it'd be like, oh yeah, we just haven't hit them hard enough. We just need a bigger wave, so we need some more money. We need like, right? Like, how many times you heard that? Like, we just need, no, we can't cut funding because it's not over. We have to add more to like really end this, to put a close to it, right? And so that like I kept hearing that so many times.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I think that if something does escalate with U.S. involvement, it will probably hit very hard to start. I think just based off of what we saw last time.
But here's the thing: is that we had the Houthis thing happen this year as well, and he had to stop doing it because the Houthis were, let's be real, like running up the fucking paycheck essentially, right? This is absolutely remarkable. And to your point, it turned from we need bigger bombs to we need the right guy. Like, okay, we just figured it out. Bush is actually a deep state guy, so we need someone bigger and better in there. And then eventually they go to Trump, right? And then Trump goes in and he's like, "Oh, we're just gonna blow up the like." Listen, the Democrats and these rhino Republicans, they were full of shit the whole time. They weren't actually trying to take them out. Okay, I'm gonna really do it. He goes in and just does the same thing, but he's like, "Look, I'm gonna just blow them the fuck up. That's all I'm just go in and blow them the fuck up. These guys weren't able to do it, but they don't do that with me. No one fucks with Donald J. Trump. No one fucks with me. I'll just go in and fuck them up." And what do we say? A still continuous war on terror. Still. This guy kills Soleimani, right, in his first term. And what's your infamous quote again, Dubster? What's that infamous quote again? Are you ready to go to war? You ready to go to war? I think was your statement in response to that. Right? But then again, it went away. The story disappeared. And then he comes back again, and everyone's like, oh my God, Trump's the peace guy. He's going to bring peace to the Middle East. He doesn't want to do wars. Like, didn't he kill one? Like, he already did an act of war against Iran. Like, Iran, at any point, there is no statute of limitations with human beings. Maybe lawfully there is, but not with humans. You think they forgot you killed one of their top fucking generals? Randomly? Without even telling Americans about it, you just did it? Like, come on. You already started a war with Iran. Now we're going for the on paper, let's go to war. And Fox News is going to do the Iraq war thing. And me and James actually joked about this years ago during Trump's first term. I don't know if we did it on air or just us talking. But we're like, yo, these guys are so dumb, they might vote for the Iraq war again. And here we are. Here we are. Hopefully, enough people are like, wait a minute, that's bad. We don't want that. Hopefully. Hopefully they're not duped the way the 2002, 2003 Bush supporters were. Well, they got weapons of mass destruction. Hopefully the same thing doesn't happen.
We can't control what's happening exactly right now. Like things are in motion. But
yeah,
we take a look at this and we see this guy on the right. We see him selling war. We see like
a guy Trump shit on. He shit on him, by the way.
Pay attention. Yeah, to these guys. Like like all of the, like we have to pay attention to who's doing this selling, and to me, all of these people, like you cannot ever trust them for anything. It doesn't matter what party they're in. Like you, like you can't trust these people. Like obviously you can't trust politicians, but this is um, what they're pushing for right now is murder and war, including
Yep.
Americans. Like you don't get into a war this big without sacrificing Americans.
Yep.
And they're more than willing to do that. So
Yep.
it's actively working against people.
They want us to back their crime, which actually ends up sacrificing us, your kids, your parents. They're the ones dying, not Ted Cruz.
I'll say this. If there's anyone from Iran listening to this, file your grievances with DC, not the rest of America.
Your audio is kind of fucking up. Your audio's kind of fucking up, just so you know.
You hear me now?
Still a little muffled, but I could understand that.
Okay. So, if anyone from Iran is listening to this, just like I told Russia when we started the Ukraine thing, if any Russians were listening to this at the time, file your grievances with DC. The rest of us had nothing to do with this shit.
Yeah. Well, that's the case. That's always the case. In fact, that's the case for Russians. Guess what?
Yeah, I think he's saying something.
Their governments
Russia
don't listen to
and for Iran, if you're going to attack America,
yeah, that's what he's saying.
Attack America, not the rest of America, just DC.
That goes for every. Let's be real. You're saying that to Iran when Iranians are probably like, well, we don't have a choice what these guys up there do. So it's, you kind of like, like they aren't the ones that ordered the bombs to fall somewhere.
Well, I don't give a fuck about Iran. I give a fuck about me. I'm not in DC. Don't attack anywhere but DC.
Got it.
I didn't do this shit to y'all.
I'm just making the point that if someone from Iran heard that, it'd be just someone from Iran. It wouldn't be the Iranian government. Because the citizens of Iran have no choice, just like we have no choice in regards to what our fucking government does. These are rogue criminals, in my humble opinion. Now, I understand people being sympathetic towards the Iranian government right now in the military. I understand that. But guess what? They had to become gangsters to try to fight gangsters, at the very least. Does anyone agree with that? I think most people would agree with that. They had to become like the people they're fighting themselves.
Well, even the people in Israel, they didn't vote for like that attack. They're getting retaliation for Netanyahu's order to initiate the war.
Well, he's hiding in his little nest. And it's regular Israelis that eat the fucking bombs. I'm sure some military guys too, but like when a missile goes array and hits something else, guess what? They're the ones that eat shit. And if an all-out war broke out, like ground force wars and shit like that, they're the ones that eat shit. They're conscripted over there too, by the way. Just like Ukraine. They're conscripted to fucking go and fight in wars. These fucking kids. These 18, 19, 20-year-olds. It's your kids losing. It's your kids dying or your parents dying in these things. Ted Cruz is safe. Donald Trump is safe. Netanyahu's safe. The Iranian leadership might not be safe if, if things break out the way it could break out. I mean, who knows? Maybe Netanyahu's not safe. Maybe Trump's not safe. Who knows? I can't say, but for the most part, these guys make decisions with the, understanding that they'll be safe and it's someone else dying in their place. And these guys aren't coming from millionaire, billionaire fucking backgrounds. They're nobodies with no names. And that's unfortunate. And that's why I stand against all these things. It's one of the reasons, at least. But, all right, here's more Ted Cruz, who got destroyed during the debates against Donald Trump. He probably used anti-war shit as a counter to Ted Cruz, by the way. That's how he won in the first place. And now, him and Ted Cruz are like 1-1. Like, yeah, let's fucking do it. If Trump jumps into this war. But here we go. Let's play more of this. Here we go.
Do you think that happens soon? And
if you don't act, you're going to find out when we've achieved success with a mushroom cloud in the skies of Tel Aviv or New York or Los Angeles.
Senator, do
Iran
you
can hit
want
LA
to
from
see
there?
regime
Jesus
change?
Christ.
Do you think that happens soon?
nuking?
And what would the future look like in that regard?
Look, I think it is very much in the interest of America to see regime change. I don't think there's any redeeming the Ayatollah. He is filled with hatred. You know, I'll tell you a story that's a little bit amazing.
Yo, Ted, ask Americans what they think. Oh, that's not your job? Your job... Wait a minute. Your job title says you represent people from Texas, right? On the national level. You're supposed to be their voice on the national level, right? Go ask people from Texas. What do they think about fighting Iran in a war? Go ask them. Let's find out if Ted's actually representing them. Can you imagine that?
He's got to at least ask half. No, he's got to at least ask half of them because there's 2 senators. He's at least half the representation of Texas.
Yeah. Go ask your constituents, Teddy boy. Go ask them. Someone might punch you in the fucking gut for that shit. If you're like some dude walking around. Wait a minute, this guy makes our decisions? You want to do what? Some vet might punch you in the fucking stomach. Fuck it, I'll go to jail. Just fucking punch you in the stomach. And watch little Teddy boy wheezing on the corner. Oh, fuck, oh. Sorry, I don't condone violence. Anyways, here we go.
What would the future look like in that regard?
Look, I think it is very much in the interest of America to see regime change. I don't think there's any redeeming the Ayatollah. He is filled with hatred. You know, I'll tell you a story that's
Real
a
is
little bit
kind of fed up.
The former head of the Iranian nuclear program.
She sounded like fuck you,
who many
you talking
say
point cunt.
was sent to meet his maker by the Mossad, the Israeli intelligence forces. He had written in his last will and testament that he wanted the following words written on his tombstone. Here lies a man who sought to annihilate Israel.
Propaganda.
Maria, think of the level of bilious hate.
Yeah.
When that's the only thing you want to be remembered for is I am such a bigot, such an anti-Semite, filled with so much hate that the entire purpose of my life is to murder as many Jews as possible. That's what we're dealing with, religious fanatics. So it is unquestionably in America's interest to see a secular regime, you know, before the revolution.
All right, I'll pause from there. God.
What he just did was what we did for getting our people ready to go to fight the Nazis. We showed cartoon pictures of them bayoneting little children.
Yeah.
So what he just did was
Bernays, right?
This guy wants on his tombstone to say, I lived to fight Israel. That's what Ted Cruz just did.
I'm not even throwing that away as I'm not even throwing that away as a possibility.
To our cartoons.
Yeah.
Our cartoons to get us ready to fight the Germans was showing the Germans with bayonets into little children.
Yeah. And Bugs Bunny beating up Hitler and all that stuff. Yeah. But once again, that guy could have said that. The point is it doesn't matter if he said that or not. Does that mean you go send not his kids, other people's kids to go fucking die over there for that?
Right, he's dead. We're talking about his tombstone. He's dead already.
Yeah, like he's dehumanizing people and then making them like sound evil, and that's what he's trying to represent with the cartoon.
Yeah, but guess what?
Killed that intel officer yesterday.
But in regards to this, right? They're gonna say like, "Oh no, but I actually love Iran. I love them." What he means is, I love this new leadership that we're gonna prop up to replace who's there. I mean, clear like playbook shit. What did you say before, Dubster? The fucking what's it called? Operations of a economic hitman and all that shit, right? John Perkins,
Economic him.
right? This is playbook
Yeah.
shit, blatant playbook shit.
Yeah.
It's not that they want to free Iranians; they want the people they like to be in power. They want the gangsters they like to be in power.
I guarantee you, part of this
Clear as day.
process was part of this negotiation with Kamani was that we'll give you personally millions of dollars if you just step down or do what we say.
I think that came and went years ago.
Oh yeah,
that
but I'm
came and
saying they revitalized that in this past 60 days thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. True. We saw it before Trump went to the Middle East, right? Or before Trump went to the Middle East, and Saudi Arabia had a visit with some leadership in Iran, right? I don't know if they went to Iran or if Iran went to Saudi Arabia, but either way, they were like, listen, you're going to have to give up on Palestinians. They got to go. You have to give up on them
Iran,
and take the fucking deal that the U.S. gives you.
What
Otherwise,
we
we
see
can't help.
yesterday, you saw an Iranian general become a traitor yesterday.
Yeah.
He was paid.
Well, on Friday, we saw that.
Okay, he was paid.
Where he was officially named as, like, this guy was an inside source for Israeli intelligence. And let's be real, U.S. intelligence along with it. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't placed in there to get promoted to general. No, he was Iranian and was a traitor.
Yeah. I'm sure he grew up there. I'm sure he's friends with some of those guys. But they offered him something, or something happened with that guy where he felt the need to betray the leadership in Iran. Straight up.
That's part of not just the leader gets these offers from the economic hitman.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
As many as they can talk to and make enough of an offer or a threat,
yeah,
they'll do when they want to do it.
And we'll find out in 30 years in some sort of like FOIA request. In 30 fucking years, we may find out something in regards to that.
Yeah, when everybody involved on our side is dead.
Yeah. It's like they fucking. It's like they hate. It's like they hate healthiness. But they hate it. And
they hate us. Yeah.
I talk about these IQ test things. I'm not joking when I say those things. Like I actually mean that. Like, yo, events will happen, and then motherfuckers will show their true colors in those moments. They will. And that's part of what I mean by IQ test. Where it's like, well, okay, here's a award. Like, I saw this with Ben Shapiro before Ben Shapiro became unpopular. And Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro had a discussion.
Steven Crowder's still popular.
Well, fair enough. But years ago, him and Ben Shapiro had a discussion about Iran. People, I guess, didn't see it, or they forgot about it, or something. But they had a foreign policy discussion about Iran. And their words back then fit for today right now. It fits. And it's like, okay, every time one of these events happen that get covered by the mainstream or content creators like those guys or whoever, people will showcase where they really stand. And you saw it right there. This guy is not fucking, oh my God, isolationists, America first. These guys are not that. It took a while for people to figure that out, but it was obvious way back when. It was obvious. I'm like, yo, how the fuck do people... Wait a minute, why are people liking these guys? But guess what? Now we're in 2025. It's too late.
They like them from certain quotes and the college campus things they were doing.
Yeah, your audio was a little fucked there, but I heard what you were saying. College campus stuff and debating blue-haired leftists at fucking Columbia University. Look at me destroy these college campus kids. And it's like, A, I'm not impressed. B, sometimes these guys lose the debates, but no one sees that they lost because they're fanboys or fangirls. And C, these are neocon Douglas Murrays. I kid you not. Those are two neocon Douglas Murrays. And no one saw that. And that broke my brain.
Well, there's so many people, millions of people know Ben Shapiro from a 2-minute clip here and a 3-minute clip there.
Yeah.
Not 2 hours of listening to a show, but these clips. And then they say, oh, yeah, he's cool. Because I agree with him in those 2-minute clips.
Free speech, yeah, free speech. And then when there's an issue that he has a problem with, all of a sudden, bye-bye free speech.
Yep.
He called out war crimes of Saudi Arabia, by the way. Like, Saudi Arabia's committing genocide over there, and these are not good people. They're not good. As soon as the Israel-Gaza thing gets mainstream news level, Hamas is an evil organization, and Israel needs to take them out. And it was kind of obvious. And no, Dubster, I didn't use identity or ethnicity politics for it. I heard his words. That's all I needed.
I agree. Saudi Arabia is pretty evil. That's what I agree with.
I'm just saying, there's words that people say versus an identity that people don't like. There's a big difference between those. And the people that follow identity, guess what? You're going to be in the wrong. You're going to have your IQ test one day, if you haven't had it already. And you're going to showcase to me how full of shit you are. But anyways, let's get back to this. I said it was going to be a short video. We're 50 minutes in. Whatever. Here's more Teddy Boy. And by the way, I just wanted to mention, actually, in regards to the video, I think her name's Maria, right? Maria something. I forgot her name.
Bartolomeo.
She looks
I don't know how to
so
say her.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, she's gorgeous. But she's all. It seems like. I'm just saying. From her expressions.
Yeah.
It seems like she's not buying what this guy's saying. Like she's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. That's what it sounds like or looks like, but I can't say I know.
But
She's a sellout, though. Don't worry.
Well, if she wanted to prove it, she could just actually counter him. Like, listen, you're full of shit, bro. I know the information. Here's what's wrong with what you're saying. She could do that, but she doesn't do it. She keeps her fucking mouth shut.
We've already broken down that she's a sellout. It's just
I don't know enough about this lady, but I'm just saying, like, I think she would follow whoever the editorial leader guy is of Fox News.
Yeah,
he'd follow that most likely. But I'm just saying, like, her expression is like, yeah, we get it, Ted. You're selling a war. Got it. But here we go.
As possible. That's what we're dealing with, religious fanatics. So it is unquestionably in America's interest to see a secular regime. You know, before the revolution, Iran was a secular country that was an ally of America. I think the people want to go back to
No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't like secular. Christians don't want secular. That's what England has. We want a war with England.
Okay. I think the idea is the irony of it is that Netanyahu calls this country the Jewish state, and then to counter that, then Ted Cruz gets up here like we want secular. I can't say the word secularism. Secularism. Ugh. They want that. That's what Ted Cruz is saying he wants for Iran. Meanwhile, like, they're fighting the quote-unquote Jewish state, as stated by Netanyahu himself, right? So it's like, wait a minute. I don't get it. I don't get it now. But then again, what he's trying to sell is crazy, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, crazy Muslims that want to blow the world up is the picture he's trying to paint for the whole Fox News audience, which is on average 60-something plus years old. No offense to those guys, it's just a lot of them fall for stupid shit like this. Now, with the younger people, they may not buy this, but they're going to find out very quickly that they have no fucking say in it. And guess what? Once you start, that's it. That is it. Bush started Iraq War. Obama stayed in Iraq. He quote unquote pulled out, but left a bunch of weapons there. But they're still there. They're still there to this fucking day. No one actually pulled out of Iraq.
They just reduced it to what they think is manageable levels.
Yes. And built a fucking city in the middle of Baghdad. Built a city within a city in Iraq. It's a game that you guys did not get invited to. It is what it is. You can scream, you can call in. Sorry, this is my pessimism talking and my cynicalism and all that shit, bro. Glass half empty. I'm sorry, bro. I would love, just for the sake of, morale, I guess, or of conscience of society, where they're like, yo, this is not right. We don't want anything to do with this. Of seeing all the phone calls pile up and like, fuck, the line's busy because there's so many fucking people calling in. But they just do it anyways. Like you didn't happen. Like you didn't exist. If Trump, once again, antiwar.com said as early as tomorrow, they start firing at Iran and officially entering the war. A lot of people are probably gonna feel something like, oh fuck, these guys aren't actually this is bullshit, isn't it? This is bullshit. I think a lot of people are gonna actually realize that in those moments. Granted, there have been people screaming it for a long time now who have had those moments where they're like, fuck, these guys are full of shit. I'm disappointed, or whatever, right? Like, yo, young whippersnapper, listen to me. I fucking experienced this already. Don't fall for it. Fuck you, old man. And then tomorrow, possibly tomorrow, they may have that day. We're like, oh shit, this guy is... Oh fuck, he was playing us the whole time. Shit. Who knows? Who knows? I guess the overall point here is just... I just wanted to give a heads up, I guess, to possibly the U.S. entering this war with Iran. And,
Well, China might enter it too now that they fucking blew up their oil.
well, would we call this World War III? Would you guys say that? Or no?
Possible. It's possible. It's likely.
I would, yeah, that's
Russia
kind of what I'm asking.
China,
Yeah.
Russia and China are their allies. These Iran's allies.
If the U.S. enters, are we going to say it's likely World War III at that point? What do you guys think? Debs are saying yes to that. What do you think, Jesse?
Yeah, it's a shitty sequel.
I'm still weary. I'm still thinking, who's going to come to Iran's aid? I've yet to see it. All I hear is talk.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I haven't seen anything that suggests somebody's going to put their hat in the ring for Iran.
Well, we are at the stage where, once again, on paper, officially, the U.S. is not involved yet, right? Even though they are, right? We know they are.
Yeah, we know, but we know that's like a thin sheet of paper that's about to get ripped up.
But if someone is on the team of Iran, they see all they see is Iran versus Israel. That's all I see so far, right? They'll be like, well, yeah, Iran can handle themselves. They're gonna shit on them. They're all good. If they see like a superpower enter, maybe they're like, okay, now we got to go in now because Iran can take care of Israel, but can they take care of Israel and the U.S.? Maybe that's when they jump in. Who knows?
Or who?
And they could see themselves threatened too, right?
Right now,
Like that's why they would jump in. It's like, well, if they take Iran down, why wouldn't they just get, like other countries might feel threatened in the same way.
Yeah.
Not only that, right
Right,
now,
because that's.
good. Go
Go ahead, Anthony.
I
No,
was
you
gonna
go
say,
ahead.
as a like an act of self-preservation, who in their right mind would volunteer to be an enemy of the United States? Not only with their military might, but with the propaganda machine behind them.
Yeah. But then again, not saying, once again, I look at Russia as liking Israel and all that stuff. But
Yeah, because
Israel was funneling weapons to Ukraine, right? They were doing that.
Yeah.
And
And Iran
Russia's
makes
already
the
there.
And Iran makes weapons for Russia.
Yeah. And Israel's,
So-
sorry, Russia's already has all the narratives against them. They're already disliked. They're already at war. It would almost make sense. And if you add in the factor, the conspiracy idea that all these guys are actually working together in the first place, why not have the global cinematic World War III? Why not? Modern Warfare, World War III, Call of Duty. Why not have that? For those guys, not for us, but for them. I'm just saying conspiracy-wise, throwing it out there. That's a possibility. But go ahead, Dubster.
I think the reason they don't do it is because they can't convince us yet.
Yeah.
Once they can convince us that all the Russians are our enemies and all the Iranians are our enemies, and once they convince us that China is our enemies, then we're there. Like as in citizen on citizen, not as in country on country, but like if I see a Chinese in the street on America, I'm gonna be thinking that's a spy of some sort. Once I'm there to that point, then they're ready for nuclear.
So they have to solve McCarthyism too.
Yeah, even though McCarthy was right.
I mean, once again, you look at it, like here's two countries that I definitely would believe would jump in: India, Pakistan, right? Those seem like obvious people that would jump in.
They hate each other. They just hate
Turkey.
They just hate it.
Yeah, they don't like each other so much that they might just jump in because the other one did. And Pakistan's been woofing lately, bro.
Well, they've been building up propaganda. They've been building up propaganda against the Indians in America too lately.
Yeah, and they've like Israel talks so much shit about Pakistan. Like that could be a done deal. But those are two more nuclear powers.
In November, Turkey severed all ties with Israel. They removed the embassy. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they're coming.
Oh.
I mean, all the Middle East could come in. We pick different sides.
I mean, was every country involved in World War II? No. Right? There's like big names. There's some big names for sure.
No, in a way, every country was.
In a way, but
maybe
I mean, like
much.
direct contact type shit. I mean, if this is the war for the Middle East, I can for sure see that being dubbed World War III.
Well, think if you look at the history of Africa, like it was colonized out by each different empire.
Yeah.
So that was part of it because that was where that's why the Germans had factories that could do this or that, and the English had factories in Africa that could do this and that.
Yeah. Oh man, man, oh man, oh man. Yeah. Or any other theories people want to throw out there? Please go ahead.
Well, yeah. Well, the other theory I was seeing about, was in Twitter today, which is um, and it's probably too long for this. Like I don't want to detour too much, but it's
Okay.
a lot of these things, like there's a chapter or two chapters in the Old Testament in Ezekiel, which basically plays this out, and it's
Yeah,
very
I've heard those
very similar.
ideas. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard those
definitely
ideas.
conspiracy theory stuff, but it's like uh, there's a somewhat of a script for this, right? Um, and if someone's crazy enough to think like, hey, this is my time, this is like they they might just read the script. They
I've heard
I
some
think
guys, man, on Twitter bringing up the Alaska, what's it called, Alaska Mosque or whatever. Like, oh, they might blow it up,
yeah
and boom, the third temple's
Yeah.
right there. There we go.
yeah
Here comes Jesus
in,
coming back. Like, fuck.
well in the Bible, actually it even names like the countries, like actually it is like directly with Persia, and it names like a whole series of countries,
Yeah.
and like there's a lot of detail in how it plays out. Of course, it's you always have to do some interpretation to map what's going on now, but that's just another theory that's out there about
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to be a prediction, right? Like somebody can read this
Oh,
and be
self-fulfilling
like,
prophecy, 100%.
yeah, they might
Yeah.
be like, okay, this is how it works.
Yeah.
All three
People are
religions have
saying
their
those
own.
things.
All three religions have their own apocalyptic, like, well, our side's gonna win the apocalypse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And these idiots now have toys that kill people. Some of these guys. Although I don't think the politicians are so religiously dedicated. I think they steal it or like use it as a way to get like devoted followers. But at the same time, there are people around like saying certain things and kind of hoping, like sitting here like, yes, I love this war. It's so amazing. Like on those grounds, on that Jesus will come back. And if Jesus comes back, his first words are going to be, Jesus fucking Christ, we fucked up. He's like, what am I coming back to? What is this shit? What's wrong with you people? And then he'll pull a sword out of his mouth and start fucking people up. All right. Are any other thoughts before I end the video? Got it. There's your video, ladies and gentlemen. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment. Agree, disagree. What do you think? By the time you see this, it might be too late. Who knows? But if it doesn't happen yet, do you think it's going to happen? As far as the U.S. entering the war and AKA the world and deep shit situation. What do you think? Tell me in the comment section. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. All of it appreciated. And with all that said, give this video and pray for no war, bro. Pray for no war. Give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in.